All right, we're live. In about 2 minutes, we're going to be breaking down a case study where I walk you through a 80K profit, real trade, real stock market, real money. So I'm going to share this out and we're going to get started in about 2 minutes. Feel free to type in, let me know where you're watching this from. And we are live, baby. Got about 2 minutes. Just gonna get this shared out to YouTube, to Facebook, a couple other platforms here. Then we're going live in 1 moment. All right. We should be good on Facebook, good on YouTube. We're going to be breaking down 80K 2-month case study, talking about real profits, the real stock market, real trades. And I know a lot of people are, they wonder, is this stuff real? Can this happen for them? And so I'm going to break it down, how it works, how it can work for you, and why I'm sharing and why it's important to share. So good deal. And if you're just tuning in, feel free to let us know where you're from, where you're watching from. I do monitor the comments, even if it's on the replay. So I'll come back and engage with you guys. And then let me go ahead and share this out on Snapchat. Not Snapchat, Instagram. Instagram, we are live. So join us over on Facebook. We're live on YouTube over here. And we're getting ready to get started talking about an 80K profit, real trades, real stock market. It's going down right now. That's right, 21 seconds, baby. And we got some good stuff that we're going to be sharing with you guys. So let's get ready to get it going. I see a lot of Detroit in the house. That's awesome. Texas is in the house. Cool. So we got about 5 seconds. We're going to get into it. So let us know where you're from, and then we'll cue the intro. Then we'll come right back, and we'll bring you the 80K profit, 2 months case study, real stock market, real trade. So let's go. All right, let's get into it. So Jason Brown here with the brownreport.com. That's where, if you're not familiar with me, I'm a stock market trader, stocks and options trader, and I also have a stock market education company where we teach people how to trade in the market. And so we're live. I'm going to be breaking down a case study for you. And typically, I just like to make my money, kind of, stay low key, stay quiet about it. And we share what we're trading with our members inside of Power Trades University. But the reason I'm going live tonight, actually every Sunday, I kind of recap what my trades were for the previous week and what we're going to be doing for the upcoming week for our members and get ready for Monday. But the reason I'm going live and I'm going to give you an inside look into a real trade in the real stock market with real money is because there's just a lot of hype going on about the market, especially with all this Bitcoin stuff that's going on. And that's not what we're here to talk about. But my point is there's a lot of, I think, people that are getting interested in the stock market. However, most of these people are interested in the way that they're going to end up getting hurt. They come into the game. They want to gamble. They want to, put 50 on black like this is the roulette table or something like that because they heard about it in the news. They heard about all this hypey stuff that's going on. And so I want to take you inside a real trade, real trading account. And I want to break down the 3 things you need to know if you're going to come into this industry, especially the right way, not the gambling way. And I want to talk to you about and show you what's really possible, because I think when you tell people like, oh, I'm up 30%, 40%, 50% in a month, they think, oh, nobody's making those types of returns. And like I said, typically we just, whatever, we don't really try to prove anything to anybody. We just make our money and keep it moving. But I think because more people are coming to the game, getting loud about Bitcoins and all this other stuff, I don't know if they're making money or not. I don't even know if most of them know what they're talking about or not. And maybe some of them do, I don't know. But I feel like if they're coming into what I consider my lane, then I need to be a little bit more boisterous about the right way to do it, because that's what I do. So here's the thing, because I'm looking at a real trade in my real account, I am going to read the disclaimer. So we're going to read the disclaimer before I show you the real trade, real account. And then we'll talk about the 3 things you need to know if you go get into this game and get into it the right way. And then I'm going to share with you some resources. Yes, they are my resources, but because that's what I do. So let's get the disclaimer going first. The Brown Report LLC, Jason Brown, or any of its personnel are not registered broker dealers or investment advisors, nor do we want to be. One should always consult with a licensed professional before making any investment decisions. I will mention that I consider certain securities or positions to be good candidates for the types of strategies we are discussing or illustrating. Because I consider the securities or positions appropriate to the discussion or for illustration purposes, does not mean that I am telling you to trade the strategies or the securities. Keep in mind that we are not providing you with recommendations or personalized advice about your trading activities. The information we're providing is not tailored to any particular individual, and any mention of a particular security is not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold that or any security, or a suggestion that it is suitable for any specific person. All right. So keep in mind that all trading involves a risk of loss, and this will always be the situation, regardless of whether we are discussing strategies that are intended to limit the risk. So the Brown Report, Jason Brown, or any of his subsidiaries or personnel are not subject to any trading restrictions. I and others at the Brown Report and any of his subsidiaries could have a position in any security or initiate a position in a security at any time without notice to you, which just simply means we do not have to check with anybody before we enter a trade or anything like that. So now, love it. A lot of people are telling me where they're from. So let's get into the case study, because that's what you're here for. So we're going to walk you through a $80,000 profit case study in 2 months with real money, real trades in my real account. So that's why we had to read the disclaimer here. All right. So let me share my screen, and then let's get into the case study here. So here we go. Boom. All right. So my screen is up, and before we actually get into the chart, let me pull up the sell record. So let me zoom in on this, make sure you guys can see it. In fact, let me move my screen up to the top so that it's not blocking you. All right, there we go. So we got it zoomed in. Let me turn on my drawing tool here. So let's look at this thing together, ladies and gentlemen. So this was, actually, you know what? I'm zoomed in a little too much. Let me scroll down, show you the first one. All right, so there we go. All right, so this was a trade we did, and you can see we closed, this is the close date row. You can see the closed out date. We closed that out November 9th, all right? And then we closed it out with 27,000 profit, all right? And if you know anything about Charles Schwab, they don't do paper trading accounts, so you can't even get a statement like this for fake. This is a real trading account. And so we closed it out 27K profit. You can see the type of capital we had into it, right? So we had about 69K into it. And when we were done, we pulled out 96K. Now, let's just do some really quick math here. And then I'm going to walk you through how we picked it, why we picked it, and what happened, right? So I'm not just here to boast numbers, but I just want to educate people because some people go get hurt out here trying to buy Bitcoins and all this crazy stuff. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the cost basis first. All right. So we pulled out 27,590 profit. Okay. And then we put up 69. All right. So 69, what's that? 203. Okay, so I just want to do the math for my people who don't really get down with math. That is a 39% return in roughly about a month. I'll show you when we purchased. I think it was a month and a half. So when people say, you know, sometimes people are like, well, we're getting 40% return a month. Some people are like, well, you can't get that in a year. Well, with the knowledge you have, you probably can't get that in a year, but everybody doesn't have the same knowledge. And once you know how to play the game, you can know how to play it for you and your family. So that's one trade, right? Now, notice we closed that out November 9th. Now let's go to, and these were some smaller things we did, but now let's go up here to ODFL. Close this one out December 6th. Okay. Another 22K profit. I think that one was about a month, maybe 3 weeks, actually. You'll see. I'll show you the purchase ticket. So let's do the math on that one. All right. We got, we pulled out 22 profit. So 22,138. And then let's divide it by, this was what our cost basis was 34. So we put 34,230 and like 57 cents in there. Let's just, that's at 57. I want to be real accurate for you guys. All right. So that one, if you times that by 100, that was actually a 64% return. And this one was about 3 weeks. I'm not kidding. About 3 weeks, 64% return. So here's why I'm doing the percentage returns, because some people will say, well, I don't have $34,000, and that's fine. But 60% return is 60% return, no matter what you have. So if you had $1,000, 60% return, $640 would have came back to you. So it doesn't really matter about how much I had and how much you have. The percentage return is true no matter what numbers you plug in. Okay. Now let's do the last one right here, which is going to be the CBOE. We closed that one out December 7th, a whopping 37K profit. Okay. So now we paid about 66K for that one. So 66,050. I don't know about you guys, but this gives me, the money part gets me excited. The percentage part. I'm sorry. Let's do we put out 37,898.08, and then we paid 66, right? 66,050.96. I want to be real accurate on these numbers here. So you times that by 100%, 57%. So we had one that was like 30-some%, 63%, 57%. And that's how we came up with the total. We had that total gain for about 3 weeks. Now, let's look back. What happened? What made us pick these trades? As a matter of fact, if you got somebody who, you think would love to watch this, make sure, if you're loving this so far, just hit I know people are watching on YouTube, so make sure you hit the like button, the thumbs up button on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, send me some hearts, some emojis, something. Let me know that you're with me. This is good stuff. I got you on the screen over here. And if you're watching the replay, same thing. And it just lets me know you're alive and you're awake and that this is making sense to you. All right. So perfect. See the emojis coming through. All right. Now let's pull up the sale ticket. All right. Because this was when we sold it, but let's go back to when we purchased, and you can see I grade my account out up here. So no worries. Took a real snapshot of the trading account. And so if you look back when we bought that first trade, we bought that trade October 17th, right? The XLU one I told you about that we sold. And then if you look, we sold the XLU right here. So we bought it October 17th. We sold it about under 30 days, about 3 weeks later. October 17th, we sold it November 9th. So that was the first one that was like 39% profit. All right. The second one, you could see we bought November 14th, the CBOE one. You see this? We bought it November 14th. We did 50 contracts. By the way, I'm an option trader. I love to leverage options to get these type of returns. This is not really returns you get just trading stocks. But you can see this is what we pay for. So we bought that November 4th, and I think we sold it. Oh, you can see up here. We sold it. I don't have the CBOE sold on here. But I just showed you it on the other screen. Look at the ODFL. That's the ticker symbol. November 20th, we bought that one. And then we sold it on, we didn't sell it here. That's some credit they gave us. We sold it December 6th. So November 20th, December 6th. That's like 2-3 weeks later where we sold that. And then we pulled out all that profit. All right. So now let me talk to you about how we came up with it. What were we looking at and how does this all work? Because, you know, people want to come into the game and you don't get them type of returns by gambling. You only get those type of returns, in my opinion, from coming into this game with a strategic strategy. So let's take, you know what, let me move my screen down here so that you can see. All right. Let's take the first one. The first one was, what was it? The XLU. That's right. It was this one. So this was the first trade that we did in the account. Let me just pull it back up one more time. Make sure you guys are with me. XLU. I want you to make sure you're with me. XLU. That was the first one we did where it was about 27K profit. Took, I don't know, about a couple weeks to a month maybe. All right, so here's what we saw on the XLU, and we talk about this inside our university where we go over these trades every week. We saw, this is called support, and this is resistance up here, right? And so this is basically a trend trade. It was a trend. We saw the trend. So up top, this is where we sell, right? And then down here, I'm trying to draw with my mouse. It's a little wonky, but that's where we sell, and then let me switch colors. Down here is where we buy, all right? So we saw this trend come through and hit one full cycle. So when it came back down here, what do you think we were thinking? Not rocket science. We was like, it's time to buy, right? Based on this is called technical analysis. There's also fundamental analysis. But when we're trading, we do a lot of technical trading where we look at charts, we study trends. And so we saw the trend, boom, I jumped in. We alerted our members about this trend, and then we rode it up to here. Now, what do you think we did when it got up there? You guessed it. We sold. We closed this thing out. And you can tell this happened about October 3rd, right, when we spotted the trend. If you come back to our purchase record, you can see we bought October 17th. So if we come back to here, you could see about right here in this area was roughly when we bought, like somewhere right in this area, right? When we noticed the trend, I think we started talking about it there. Then we got in on the trend there. And then we rode it up, boom. We just got out right there. And the thing about this stuff is it's not that hard if you know what you're looking at. But if you don't know what you're looking at, you don't know about the trends. Now, here's the thing. If we were to buy the actual stock, we would have had to pay, you know, I don't know, $55 a share. But I bought about 50 contracts. So that would have been just a ton of money. But we were able to control it by using options. Now I have time to get into what's an option and how every option contract works. But once you understand how it works, that's the power of knowing how to read charts. So I told you I'm gonna give you 3 things you should learn how to do if you want to be profitable in the stock market. Number 1, you need to know how to read stock charts. That's number 1. Number 2, I just showed you, you need to determine the best times to buy and sell, right? Best times to buy, down there, something called support. When should we be selling? Roughly when it gets to something we call resistance. Now, you might be like, well, what makes it go down and up right at those points? There's supply and demand, it's overbought, there's fear and greed. There's a whole bunch of things that kind of go into it, but there's also some underlying fundamentals that say once it gets down to this level, it's oversold and it's time to buy, right? Give me some hearts, thumbs up if that makes sense, because I want to talk to you, not talk at you, even if you're watching the replay. Does that make sense? Just by looking, if you know nothing about the stock market, does that little bit make sense? Knowing how to read a chart, determining the best time to buy, the best time to sell, And then putting the third thing is using options to exponentially grow. So sometimes people always say, well, I'm getting into the stock market. Is that long-term trading and all this? It's like, I want some money right now. Like, forget the 401k. No, I'm not saying forget the 401k. That stuff is good. I still have money in long-term investments, but wouldn't it be nice to have some right now money? You know what I'm saying? If you want some right now money, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs. If you want some right now money, right? People can use financial relief right now. Not always in 30, 40, 50 years, right? Now, let's talk about the next trade. That was the XLU. Let's talk about ODFL, right? So let me walk you through that trade. And again, I'm sharing this with you because I feel like people are trying to come into my space. They don't trade stocks. They don't trade with their real money. They're selling people all this hype about Bitcoin. But I want to share with you how it really works. So let's look at ODFL. This was a company called Old Dominion Freight Company, right? So I want to point out a couple of the patterns that we noticed as a team inside our coaching program. So we noticed these flag kind of patterns, right? Boom, see these flags? These are called flags. So you see the flag, how it moves up, and then it's like a flag blowing in the wind, right? So we notice these flag patterns, right? So every time we see the flag pattern, what do you think it's time to do? So we saw this big flag pattern right here. And so we alerted our members and was like, hey, I think this thing's going to break out of the flag like it's done before. How do we know? We don't ever know 100%, but we've seen it before. We've seen it before, right? We've seen it before. We've seen it before. I don't know how many more times I can say it. We've seen it before. So once we notice the flag pattern coming through, we said, hey, let's get in on the trade, but then we're going to set an alert down here in case it doesn't do what we think it's going to do. So do we know 100% certain that the pattern is going to continue? We don't know that with 100% certainty, but we know with about a 85, 90% probability that pattern is going to continue. And so when we see the pattern, what do you think we do? We put money to work. That's what we do. In fact, we only put money to work on patterns that we're confident on. So if you look at this pattern happened. Hopefully you can see that. Actually, let me move my camera over real quick so you can, hopefully you guys can see this. If you look down here at the bottom, you'll see the dates at the bottom. It might be really small, but if you notice, this date when we started to see it break out was November 20th. Well, when do you think we bought the trade? Let me clear that out. When do you think we bought the trade? Do you think that was a coincidence that we bought the trade on November 20th? Do you think that was a coincidence? Do you think that was by mistake that we bought November 20th? When did we see the pattern forming? We saw the pattern forming right here, right here during the breakout. That's because I erased it, right? This was the flag pattern that we just drew. We saw that happening. What day is that? November 20th, ladies and gentlemen. This stuff is not rocket science, but I got over a decade experience analyzing these types of patterns. So when we saw the pattern, we put money to work. Now, I couldn't guarantee that it was going to work out every time, but 8 times out of 10, we're right. 2 times out of 10, roughly, we're wrong. I'm just making up those statistics for somebody to say, prove to me it's 80% right. I don't know what the probability is, but the point is we only put capital to work when we believe the pattern is going to be successful and sustained. Now, it did its thing. It moved up. We sold out. All right. So now let me show you the exact last pattern that we looked at from the trading. Then we'll get ready to wrap this thing up. All right. So the last one was the CBOE. Where is it at? I don't have it on. I have the sell to close. Where's the buy? Here it is, right here. So we bought option contracts on the CBOE, which is Chicago Board of Options Exchange. Real companies, by the way, all right? People playing with stuff that ain't real. We're talking about real trades, real companies, real profits, real money. Stuff that we actually know what's going on. Not this, I heard about it on the news. I think it's going up, maybe. How far do you think it can go? Not just real stuff. So we bought this one November 14th. Where is it at? Let's pull it back up. So CBOE. First of all, is this a stock you would love to be in? Look at this. Is the trend up? I mean, this is a no-brainer. Look at that trend. It's up. But most of you don't even know how to read it. So most people, I don't know if it's you, most people don't know how to read a stock chart, but the trend is up. So anyway, we got into this one about right here on November 14th. I'm like, guys, this is in a major, somewhere around here. I'm like, this is about, yeah, somewhere in this area. I'm like, this is in a major uptrend. We believe it's going to continue. So we bought in, put some options to work right here. We closed it out just this past week, somewhere in here. But this stuff isn't hard. Trick question for you, silly question. If you see a trend like this, how confident are you that you can get in right here and that the trend is going to continue for at least another week or two? Now, could it continue a little bit longer? Yes. But if you see a trend like this, and I don't have time to get into the moving averages here, but you can see it's bouncing off the 10-day moving average, which is this blue line. You can see this royal blue line is what we call support in an uptrending stock. If you see that, well, next time it kind of pulls back to the 10-day moving average, we put capital to work, which is what we did about right there. And then we closed that bad boy out. And so the 3 trades that I just walked you through are these 3 that we were able to, let me pull up that other one. Where'd it go? Oh, that one right there. Those are the 3 trades that in about 2 months made up for this type of gain. We're talking about I think one was 39%, one was 59%, and then one was like 50 something percent. I don't know. Just go back and rewatch it for the exact percentages. But the point is, real trades in the real market. And so here's the thing as we get ready to close this thing out. All right. You know, people are trying to come into this space and they don't trade. They don't know about the market. Your friends and your family are calling you, talking about get these coins, get some Bitcoin, get some kryptonite, some currency, all this stuff, right? Not here to debate if that's good, bad, or whatever. What I am here to debate is, number one, are the people you getting this advice, which I'm not giving you advice because I don't do advice. We read the disclaimer, but if you're going to follow somebody or learn from somebody, at least, because we do education over here, are you learning from people who are actually trading in the market, or are you learning from people who like jumped on the hype train 2-3 weeks ago? Also, can they explain to you why is it going up and why is it going down? Can they explain to you why did they buy? Can they explain to you how to take an account and get 40, 50, 60% returns? Can they tell you when to get in? Can they tell you when to get out? And not just say, I heard it's going up, it's going to keep going up. No. Why? Did you read the chart? Did they do technical analysis? Did they do fundamental analysis? What did they bring to the table other than hype? All right. And if they can't answer those questions and you decide to go through with them, just don't call it investing. Please don't give my industry a bad name. Call it gambling. Just say, hey, man, you want to go gambling with me on some of this stuff? I'll let you say that, but what's killing me is the people coming into this industry that are now professionals. Everybody's a crypto trader. You got all these businesses popping. I think network marketing is even getting in on it now. They like, we want, you know, they doing network marketing cryptocurrency. But anyway, here's the deal. As we get ready to wrap this thing up, there's 2 absolutely free trainers. Obviously, I sell courses and teach and all that stuff. Not trying to hide that at all. Wouldn't try to hide it because that's what we do. But 2 free trainers. One is called Stock Market Secrets. You can head over to thebrownreport.com, check that out. And Stock Market Secrets is going to talk to you about how to read stock charts, the things that most people don't want you to know about how the stock market actually works. And then most people are always asking, how do I take a small trading account and grow it and see some real profit, some real money right now? The key to that is using options. The key to leveraging a small trading account is using options. So there's another free training called call and put trading with options. And then people always say, well, what if the market crashes? Well, with options, we can make money on the downside of the market too. So I don't care if the market's going up. I don't care if it's going down. I have a strategy and a game plan no matter what the market is doing. And that's the scenario that you want to be in. You don't want to be out here gambling and betting your hard-earned money on maybes, hoping what you read in the news or what your friend called and told you. You want to be in this game with true probability and statistics, reading charts with a well-defined game plan. All right. So thanks for watching. I'm Jason Brown. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always catch us over here on Facebook, but we're streaming live to both. And if you are watching us on Facebook, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel where we have a lot of these trainings as well. You can find both over at thebrownreport.com. And then for real people, get educated, register for the free webinars. Obviously at the end of it, we'll share with you how you can get involved with the trainings. But even if you don't take it a step further and go with the paid courses, you will learn so much stuff just by attending the free webinar, Stock Market Secrets and Call and Put Option Trading. So I'm Jason Brown with the Brown Report. Thanks for hanging out with me, spending some time. If you're watching the replay or you got questions, comments, leave them in the under the video, no matter where you're watching. I'll be sure to jump in there and interact with you guys. Have a great night. I got to go get ready to trade tomorrow. So I'll see you guys later.